Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome back to Wicca 303. Today we are talking about befriending the Fae. Now, in this class, the Fae is going to be a term that will be used as a general umbrella for all kinds of magical and mythological folk. Some examples would be brownies, elves, dwarves, pixies, gnomes, mermaids, lares, undine, etc., etc., etc. Now, as a practitioner, you are quite likely to encounter some form of Fae at some point of your spiritual journey, assuming you haven't already. So let's go over etiquette, because etiquette always seems to feature very hugely in discussions regarding the Fae. So to begin with, a word to the wise, the Fae are the ones who decide what they consider polite, not you. You do not get to dictate terms to them, and they are not adverse to teaching lessons of varying degree of severity to those who transgress. You don't nag at them to give you their true name. Remember that words have meaning and names have power. And essentially, it is considered quite rude to expect a Fae to reveal their true name to you, especially upon first acquaintance. And don't give them your true name either. You could tell them, you may call me this and such. It's a better option. So, a nickname, something that's just a term between you and them, much better off. Because again, you don't know them, and it's just wise to be a little bit cautious. Don't carry iron on your person. Fae are averse to it, and they might even see it as a sign of aggression. Don't try to control the Fae. That won't end well for you. You might remember a few years ago the whole TikTok, people wanting to hex the Fae and whatnot. Yeah. Oh, wonder what happened to those people. Anyway, we will continue on with the etiquette. Always bring or leave an offering when you're trying to interact with them. I would advise against asking for anything, any kind of favor on the first encounter. Develop a rapport first. If you find yourself making a promise to a Fae, know that you are going to be held to your word 100%. Do not give your word lightly. Be sure to define terms. Fairies dislike a mess. Well, they dislike messes that they don't make themselves. The messes they make are funny, don't you know? But they don't like messes elsewhere. So be tidy in your person, in your possessions, your household, and your habits. Remember to say things like please and may I, but remember not to say thank you. The Fae seem to think that creates too overt a sense of obligation, or it's just a little bit too smarmy. Try I appreciate you, what you've done, that sort of thing. Something that conveys gratitude without actually saying, thanks or thank you. And of course, don't get too cocky. The least of the Fae is still more powerful than you. More etiquette. Probably best not to call them Fae to their face. Fair folk, good neighbors, the gentry, things like that go over a little bit well. Research local lore for further specifics, both as to what manner of Fae is known to be in your locale and their particular likes and dislikes. So now that we've gone over our etiquette and our manners, let's talk about making friends. I think this begins at home, creating a specific place in your home to give offerings to any house Fae. And if you have an outdoor space, to do the same there. You can go out into the wild quietly, politely, as a respectful observer. Read up on the lore regarding the Fae folk. There is more material than what you are likely to get through in a lifetime. So if this is an area of interest for you, there's plenty to explore. And if you are visiting a place that you just sense is linked with the Fae and you feel that the time is right, and you're making contact, ask if what you have read about them, if it's true, and wait for signs of a response. Some of those signs might be the sound of distant bells, laughter, or unearthly music that doesn't have a discernible source, objects that just go missing, movement in your peripheral vision. You might find yourself getting elf locks, which is, unusually tangled hair. You might brush your hair out before you go to bed. You might braid it up all nice and tight, but somehow it still gets tangled. So that could be a sign. If you have cats and they seem to be playing with something or someone that is unseen to your eyes, it's a possibility. It's not an absolute, but it is a possibility that they are in contact with a Fae. And it is important to take your time with this. Connections with the Fae can feel instant, but relationships with them are not. Connection with them can feel effortless. It just happens, but maintaining that connection will require work. And that connection can feel exhilarating, but the connection as time goes on, it isn't always going to be that loud or that whoa, bowl you over kind of moment. And any Fae that you encounter, remember they are also making up their mind about you, so be sure to put your best foot forward. Now, why go to the effort? To begin with, it is nearly inevitable that you will encounter the Fae eventually, so it's as well to be prepared. And the Fae can be powerful magical allies. When our needs and their priorities align, pooling together magical resources can be most effective and have great effect. And of course, Fae are part of the world. Ignoring them is rude. Some virtues that said that the Fae look for, and this comes from Morgan Dahmer, who wrote a book on the subject, are hospitality, generosity, kindness, compassion, courage, politeness, adventurousness. You'll find similar virtues expressed in things like the Havamal or the Celtic triads. So this just seems like if you are exhibiting good pagan virtues, you are putting your best foot forward as far as the Fae are concerned. And for offerings, the watchwords are sweet, shiny, and sentimental. They like those things. Now, invitations. You could create a fairy garden to make a welcoming space for the Fae. That is, if you have a yard where you can do this. You might consider constructing it in a circle that would mimic a fairy ring. And try your hand at actually making any fairy houses or, just buildings in this area from locally sourced materials yourself. If you have no building ability whatsoever, give it a try, but, just try to infuse enough of your own energy, put effort of your own into it. It'll go over a bit better. A lot of plants are specifically associated with the Fae, so choose varieties that thrive in your area for the Fae garden. And be sure to regularly tend it, show it a lot of extra TLC. Remember that the Fae like neat, tidy, beautiful spaces, so give proper attention to the aesthetics of your fairy garden. And this would also be a good place to leave those outdoor offerings. And it'll also be a place where you could meditate near to the garden. That creates opportunities for contact. And if you do have a Fae that happens to come by, just express your happiness that they are there, because that is a special thing, especially if they let you know it. Now for our homework for April 19th through April 25th. Number 1, research your fairy lore. This can go on quite a while. Number 2, get outdoors and quietly look for areas that you think the Fae might like. And number 3, leave an offering and just see how things go. That's what I have for you this week. Next week, we will be back to doing some seasonal witch keeping for the month of May. So in the meantime, comments, questions, concerns, complaints, leave them for me in the comment section below, or email me at brigantiablackbird@protonmail.com, and I can go over some things with you there. But that'll do it for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.